Let us first pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao-Ming, homage to Master Sakya Tseng-Kung, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Thupten Dorji. Let's pay homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the good practice tonight, Guru Padmasambhava. Sumo Tansan Katso Tutan Siti. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening. How do you do?
I still 사랑해. Hola amigo. Que quiero mucho. Sugoin. Ichiban. Kimochi. Jungmi. Yapi. Pirin pirin. Konbanwa. 大家晚安。
Good evening, everyone. There's no Q&A today. We don't have any for today and tomorrow. Because you don't ask today, so there is no answers. This 1 week, the Master had lots of personal experience. I would like to talk about the sound of my heart. Yesterday was Friday, and yesterday afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. From 2 to 5 p.m. Actually, in our Buddha school, we have 2 dentists. One is Hong Gui Qing, Miss Hong Gui Qing, Gui Qing Hong. And the other one is Dr. Ryan Zhuang, 2 dentists. On Thursday, Dr. Hong got down from the mountain late at night. And I went to her clinic.
然后她帮我检查
And she helped me check my teeth.
因为我口腔非常的痛。
Because I experienced severe pain in my gums. And she gave me medicine. She was very happy
还没有吃饭
until late after 10, and she had not had any
昨
dinner.
天星期五呢，因为他们医生跟医生
And yesterday,
有互相来往
because
互相推
doctors
荐
are interconnected and they usually refer to
他
each
联
other,
络了
so she contacted
就是 behavior 的一位医生，他是根管治疗的专
a
家。
root canal specialist in Bellevue.
那么我跟师母
So
跟庄俊耀
Sumo and I and
就去
Dr.
了根管治疗的医生那。
Zhuang went to the root canal specialist.
我口腔啊，就做根管治疗。
And the dentist did the root canal
下午
yesterday afternoon
2点到5点的时间
from 2 to 5 p.m.
这2点到5点的时间呢，根管治疗。
So root canal from 2 to 5 p.m.
牙痛不是病，但痛
We often say that toothache is not a disease, but when it's aching, it would
今天
make you
啊
wanting
我
to
不想
die.
哭了
I don't want to
因为
cry
已经哭过
anymore
好几
today
场
because I've cried
这
several times before.
但是每心跳一次
With each
就痛一
heartbeat,
次
I experience
连续
severe
3个
pain
小时
continuously for 3 hours.
就是昨天从
That was
2
yesterday,
点到5点的时间，
from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
那个庄金耀医师这个陪同我，
Dr. Zhuang accompanied me
因为只
at
能够一个
the
人进，
hospital because only one person could go in.
那个痛啊，
That pain
就是差不多。这个你们这个牙痛过没有？
Have you ever had toothache before?
牙痛很痛，牙痛是很
Toothache is
痛
really painful.
我连续痛了很久，
I've
实在是没办法，
suffered the pain for a long
还
time.
找这个贵君这个小姐
There I had no other
检查，
ways. That's why I asked the Miss Hong, the dentist, to check
根
and
管
examine
根管这个治疗，
and referred to the root canal
连
specialist.
续痛3个小时，
I
麻药
experienced the
针啊
pain for 3 hours
打不知道
continuously.
多少支，还是一样痛。
I don't know how much anesthesia the Novocaine injected, but still painful.
没办法，我吃了鸦片，
Finally, I took morphine to stop the pain.
我这时候才知道，林则徐这个把鸦片烧了，是非常可惜。
Now, I found that Ling Tze burned all the morphines, the
原来
opiums.
鸦片是可以治病的，可以止
That's
痛
a pity because opium
的。连续几
can stop pain.
我从星期4开始，
For a few days now, I started from Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
连续3天，我都吃鸦片，
I took the
就是止痛，
opium
就是止痛。
to stop the pain, to kill the pain.
这个吃了会上瘾，听说是会上瘾。
I heard that it can be addictive, so once I recover, I have to
我
stop
觉
it.
得佛陀讲了一句话
I found
非
that
常正确。
the Buddha said something very accurate.
他常常说法以前就讲了， 谛听
He often said before his Dharma teaching,
人生是
listen
苦，
carefully. Human life is suffering.
什么最苦？
What is the most
我觉得
suffering?
老是苦。
I think being old is suffering.
你看这个街上多少人，
Look at
多少老人在晨
in the
跑，
streets, how many elderlies are running.
在街上你看到多少老人在走来走去。
How many elderlies do you see walking on the
老
streets?
人都不出来，
They don't go out
因为他
anymore
行动不方便。
because their movements are not convenient anymore.
是最苦。
And then the most suffering is the
你要病
suffering
上
of
来，
sickness. Once you're invaded by
我
sickness,
昨天还想，
yesterday I was thinking,
什么这个 June 27, May 45, and 这个 85啊 ，May 85，明天是我农历跟阳
tomorrow
历同一天的生日，
is
农历是5
my
月18嘛。
birthday where the lunar calendar and Gregorian calendar coincide.
只有2次，
And in my whole lifetime, it only happened twice. Once is when I was 19, and the other one is when I'm 77 tomorrow.
也没有过生日。
When I was 19, I did not know anything. I didn't celebrate birthdays.
想要过
But
一
at
次农历
77,
跟阳历
I
一起
wanted
的
to
生日，
celebrate a birthday where the lunar and Gregorian calendars coincide. But
四大
look,
不调，
the four elements are not in harmony.
脚气肿重，脚气
The
肿
first
痛，
one is
脚啊肿的跟
swollen
萝卜腿一样，
legs and pain.
萝卜的腿，
My legs become really big.
全部的水在里面，
It's
脚
water
气肿痛
retention there.
那个是水不调，
So the water is
再
not
来
in
腰痛，
harmony. And then I
腰
have back
痛
pain.
腰整个腰痛，已经痛很久了。
It's been a
终
long
于
time
牙痛胜过腰痛，
because the toothache is
腰痛就
worse
不去管。
than the backache, so I ignore the backache now.
腰痛是火，
The backache is due to the fire element.
再来，这个现在啊，
And
也不知道怎么回事。
I don't know what's going
打
on
过这
now.
个 COVID-19 的这个2个针以后啊，
After I got 2 shots of the COVID Pfizer
爬
vaccine,
楼梯都会喘，
I pant even when I climb the
稍微
stairs.
运动一下也会喘。
And I pant when I
很奇怪，
exercise
以
slightly.
前不喘的，
It
现在都
never
喘。
happened before. I never panted before, and now I do.
这是属于风啊。
That's the wind element.
再来，
And
整个
then
牙床肿起来，发脓
my gums swell and it had pus to my eyes and the pain all the way to my eyes and forehead to the head. Earth, water, fire and wind all give pain together. So I was thinking, maybe I cannot conduct the Saturday group practice, or maybe cancel the Sunday birthday celebration. Perhaps I would not be able to handle them. So I pushed myself to come here to climb on this Dharma throne. Just let it be. If I can do it, I'll do it. If I cannot, then I will rest. I'm thinking whether my body can continue to write in the future. Can my body allow me to give Dharma teaching on the Dharma throne in the future? It's hard to say. It's hard to know. So, Chinese saying, the heavens have the unpredictable rain and wind, and human beings have fortunes, good lucks and bad lucks in the day. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. On Thursday night, because of my back pain, Master Lien Sheng, you give me a massage? Which day was it when you give me a massage? One said Tuesday. I have toothache starting Wednesday. Then it was Tuesday night. You give me a massage. He knows to give massage because he gave massage to his father when he was young, and he has learned to give massage, and he's very good. He gives massage all over the body, and he knows about the acupressure points. I feel fine without being pressed, but as soon as it's being pressed, it was painful. COVID, they're looking for the origin of COVID-19, and I'm looking for why my swell and pain of my gums. It's because of his massage, Master Lien Sheng's. After he gave a massage that night, I could not sleep. The fire, I could not sleep all night. So fire blazes, and then the gums swell and pains all over to the eyes, to the head, until I had no other ways. And my sister Hong went for a hike, and she got home at 8, and I still went to her clinic afterwards, and she hadn't eaten until 10 at night. And Dr. Chuang accompanied me yesterday at the hospital. That kind of suffering. No wonder I saw Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. That's the pain of endless time, which is continuous. So pain at each heartbeat, and it cannot be controlled even with the anesthesia. Only now I know, only the opium can stop the pain. So that's the impermanence of the body, the impermanence of the lives. All changing, ever changing, all changes, impermanence. What a coincidence. I'm celebrating birthday tomorrow. Even the heavens don't let me easy. The record high temperature in Washington State is tomorrow. So Sakyamuni Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha's teaching. Washington State is in the northwest corner of USA. It's always cool and cold in the winter. And in the summertime, the heat is only on the surface, perhaps for 1 month. It's never that hot. Never did we know that the record high temperature tomorrow is 108 degrees. What a coincidence. The chanting beats 108. 108 beats. So this is how the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are celebrating my birthday? Recently, I often say, what is to be happy about life? And what is to be sad about death? So, if you transcend life and death, what is to be happy about life, about living? And what is to be sad about dying or death? The Buddha said, human life is suffering. You come here to eradicate your karma, to eradicate your karma. And next, to be reborn into the Pure Land, like Guru Padmasambhava, to have the rainbow light attainment, like Guru Padmasambhava's Guru, Sri Singha, Guru Sri Singha, also had the attainment of rainbow light transformation. And Manjushri Mitra, also rainbow light transformation. And Guru Padmasambhava is also rainbow light transformation body or accomplishment. You have to practice until you gain a great attainment like Guru Padmasambhava. So therefore the Buddhas had said that his whole body is also not so well. When Sakyamuni Buddha was living on earth, because of his past life, hit the head of the Lu-Ling King. At that time, the Sakya clan was by the ocean, and they caught a big fish. And the big fish was the previous life of the king, Lu-Ling King. And the Sakya clan, the whole villagers ate the fish. And the Buddha was still young then. And he hit the head of that fish. And because of that, when the Buddha was alive, he had migraine, headache, migraine. Is it painful? It's also very painful. So Sakyamuni Buddha's body also experienced the suffering of migraine. And the Buddha's digestive system was not very good either. And the water that they drank then was from the river. And at the last meal offering to him, in the common language we can say that he ate rotten meat by the ironsmith. But the Mahayana Buddhists would say that no, he did not eat the rotten meat because he was a vegetarian, so he ate the rotten mushrooms. And then he needed water. And by coincidence, the 500 merchants passed by the river, so the water was turbid. Ananda went to fetch the water, but the water was turbid, so he could not get any. So the Buddha, because he had bad digestive system and no water, he passed into parinirvana between two sala trees. It should have been that Sakyamuni Buddha could live past 80 years old. Even if the turbid water was fetched, the Buddha had the transcendent power to cleanse, to purify the turbid water. If he drank the water, he would have been saved. Without the water, then he was dehydrated completely. So the Buddha passed into parinirvana. So strictly speaking, The Buddha died of sickness. He got sick after eating rotten mushroom, and then he died. At that time, during the lifetime of Sakyamuni Buddha, at the beginning of the Buddha's teaching, he often said, listen carefully. Human life is suffering. In reality, it is the case. Although Grandmaster's physical body has declined and age at 77, this time with swollen and painful legs, backache, toothache, and my energy has declined. Just walking a little bit and climbing the steps make me pant. I'm not sure what's going on. I often say, Grandmaster has Buddha's light protecting him. He's not afraid of COVID-19. But I'm just following the wish of people and got 2 shots of Pfizer vaccines. Strangely, after these 2 shots of Pfizer vaccines, with a little bit of exercise, Dexter would know. In the past, when I do the Tai Chi chant or the Shaolin pole, I would finish the whole song. Now he only played 1/3. He only played 2.5 minutes of the song, of the music. It was 6 minutes before. I could do 6 minutes without panting before, but now just 2.5 minutes and I still pant. Strange. Impermanence. The Buddha's light on my body has been broken. So strange. Heaven's plan is better than human's plan. That's fate. Tomorrow is my birthday. And it turned out to be the record high temperature of Washington State. The hottest day. Even Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva came to say, to celebrate your birthday, there are 8 freezing hells and 8 scorching hells. When it's cold, extremely cold. When it's hot, it's extremely hot. So Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is also my brother. And he celebrated my birthday with 8 scorching hells. What a friend. Let me expound a little on Lamdre. This is the instruction on the third point. According to what is relied upon, it is extremely broad explanation. The verse in quotes, at the moment of attaining the 13th ground, the mind attracts the 10th ground mothers, etc. End quote. Describes during the latter accumulation period, in accordance with the confirmed lotus endowed goal, one performs up to the 13th ground, or the past abiding envoys or practitioner does not need reliance, which is summed up as etc. When I am at the first ground, the mudra is also at the first ground. Similarly, when I am at the 7th ground, the mudra is also at the 7th ground. Namely, its interest as spoken in the Sutra of the Great Secret of Skillful Means. In quotes, a bodhisattva, mahasattva, achieves unborn endurance or anutpatika dharma santi if he wants to realize and demonstrate the perfect realization. The Vajrascreen Tantra stated, accomplished in one day. The near cause is the 7-day meditation, which means the one with unborn endurance abides on the 8th ground. The 7-day refers to 2 grounds in one day. Oh, footnote. The Sutra of the Great Secret of Skillful Means does not exist in the Tibetan Tripitaka.
则汉地已有译本3种，分别为佛说、大法广、善巧方便经、会上菩萨问、大善巧经、大正藏及大宝积经第38大圣方便会。我告诉您，这一段，我们现在讲的这一段，得无生法忍，则即为
talk about this
所言7日
excerpt, the unborn endurance.
各登2地。
The 7th day refers, the near cause is the 7-day meditation, which means the one with unborn endurance abides on the 8th ground. The 7th day refers to 2 grounds in one day, which is a day and a night for 1 ground each. So in 6 days and nights, one reaches 12.5 ground. This piece is secret. Let me tell you, my body is in Seattle. But I can also say that my body, although my body has declined and in pain, I am still all over the world. At that time, Sakyamuni Buddha has attained Buddhahood long ago, but his body too declined. But at the same time, he could divide his bodies at the vulture peak. He could go to the auspicious rice gathering pagoda to transmit Kalachakra Dharma to the king of Shambhala. at the Jixiang auspicious Miji Pagoda to transmit Kalachakra Dharma.
现在
So now,
就在我昨天最痛的时候，
yesterday at the most painful time,
在这个牙科那里，
at the place of the dentist when I had the surgery
把那
on
个
my
里面的
teeth,
不好的东西打麻药针，用刀把它割掉，
to
把
get
里面的东西拿出来
anesthesia
的时候，
and cut open with knives and to take out all the stuff inside. At that moment, all the same, I
到几个
could
国家去。
divide myself, emanated to several countries.
我这个是有证人的，我是有证人的，
And I had
但
witnesses,
是不能讲出来，因为这个跟经
But
典一样，都是
it
秘密
cannot be spoken because it is a secret, like the
切有
sutra.
奇人，
But
切有
they
奇事，
are such people, and they were such
我仍
events.
然在我牙痛的时候，
Even when I was
牙齿
having
开刀的时候，
pain during the oral surgery,
我在教人家修法。
I was teaching someone to practice,
切有其人，
and
切
it
有
did
其
happen.
事，
And
但是不能讲出这个人是谁。
that such person did
Okay.
exist, but I cannot tell.
是在东南亚、东北亚的国家，
It was in the Southeast Asia or Far East, Northeast Asia countries.
在动刀用
When
牙
I
齿的
was going through the
自己
operation
本身分身去
on
了
my
东北亚、
teeth and
东南亚
gum,
的地方。
I could emanate myself to go to Southeast Asia and Northeast Asia.
这里讲灵得13地时，一钩10地母。这一句话是很秘密的，但是它后面有解释。
This statement is very secretive.
你是初地的空行母，
But there's an explanation later.
你到了
If you
七
reach
地，
the first ground,
初地是
you're
欢喜地，
the Dakini of the first ground.
你得的
And the
空
first
行母
ground
是
is the ground of
初地的
joy.
空行母。
And you would obtain a Dakini of the first ground.
第
When
七
you
地
reach
是
the
眼
seventh
地
ground,
你
which is
得
the
的
ground
是
of far
七地的
travel,
空行母，
then you would
它这
get
里
a
所
Dakini
应
of
依
the
为七
seventh
地。
ground.
所应依为七地，也就是事业所应。
So the mudra,
你在
karma
七地
mudra,
的时候，
is also at the
所应依为
seventh
七地
ground, when you
也就是
are
七
at
地
the
的空
seventh
行母。
ground. So, which is a Dakini of the seventh ground.
这个就是依据受具的具人理，行至第13地，
The
见
confirmed
或过
lotus
去
endowed goal,
住始则
one
道之，
performs up to the
不虚
13th
所依
ground,
而此
or the
而
past
此而已等之眼内。
abiding envoys or
有的是依
practitioner
空行母修，
does not need
有的是
reliance.
不用依空
Some
行母
practice
修，
in relying with the
但是
Dakini,
你初地有初地
relying
的
on the
空行母，
Dakini, and some
七
don't.
地有七
But when you're at the seventh ground, you have dakinis of the seventh ground. Or when you're at the first ground, you have dakini of the first ground. The Sutra of the Great Secret of Skillful Means. And they checked that the sutra did not exist. But there was a similar sutra. Unborn endurance is the eighth ground. We know that unborn endurance is a fruition. That's the eighth ground. Anutpatika Dharmasanti. This is very secretive. I don't dare to explain it clearly. Actually, if I say it clearly, you can understand, but I cannot. Because like yesterday, when I was in the oral operation, I'm being in Seattle amidst the suffering. I divided myself, emanated to Southeast Asia and Northeast Asia, and taught the karma mudras how to cultivate spiritually. This kind of thing sounds very mystical, but it really happened. And the male practitioner is Grandmaster. And the female practitioner, the karma mudra, cannot be spoken. But she can provide the proof, witness, but I cannot say it. So what's written here is very concealed. The Vajrascreen Tantra also stated, in quotes, at dawn the attainment is definite, end quote. The dawn of the sixth day is the seventh day of realizing the fruition for a total of 7. Attaining the 8th ground and above can accomplish the near cause due to complete understanding of all the grounds, etc., to assimilate the 2 former outlines, 2 latter outlines, and the 10 apparent instructions, etc., 5 of them. It can allow one to attain Buddhahood, referred as the 10th ground mothers, etc., which is also called, in quotes, even if one has reached the 8th ground, the mudra is also the 8th ground, and such words and the same realization as I. The verse, in quotes, mind attracts, means mere thought can accomplish it. There is no need to visualize external things, etc. So mere thought can accomplish it. Talking about this is already very dazzling. At my abode, there are 2 golden mothers. One hang on the wall and one is a statue. Actually, there's another one underground. Because you have to walk outside to go to the altar underground. And now I practice in front of the small altar. And it's hang on the wall. So whenever I face the Golden Mother on the wall and say the name of that one person, then that night I would appear at her place. And it's not just one body. There would be many bodies flying out. I could emanate many bodies in one night. In one night, all the people of one chapter can dream of Grandmaster. If you have dreamt of Grandmaster, please raise your hand. Very many. Those you have dreamt of Grandmaster. Sometimes Grandmaster teaches people mantra, sometimes mudra. Sometimes I teach them how to visualize. Sometimes I teach them Vajra fist exercise. Sometimes I especially provide instruction on certain things. So in one night, I can go to a chapter and all the disciples of that chapter dream of Grandmaster. So not just one Grandmaster, but many, many. So what is that? It's like the verse in quotes, mind attracts, end quote. Means mere thought can accomplish it. There's no need to visualize or do any external things. Facing Golden Mother on the wall, whenever I say the name of that person and then I sleep, then I would appear in the dream of that person that night. And I would teach that person Dharma. If you have this experience, please raise your hand. Nobody? I teach you how to cook. Oh, that happens. Not bad.
Oh.
Typically speaking, the one who has attained the 8th ground is a fruition, it's a kind of fruition, which is the unborn endurance. And we can say, in my personal opinion, it's the highest level of Bodhisattva. On that ground, you can understand all the grounds, everything about the world, everything about the human world can be understood.
用这个呢
You have complete
来
understanding.
摄上列、二下列及实名事等人。
And you use this.
什么又是二上列呢？二下列呢？及实名事呢？
To assimilate the 2 former outlines, 2 latter outlines, and 10 apparent instructions. What are they? Those are terms.
上的，摄招下的。
To assimilate the upper
10种
and lower
10种明白的教示
and 10 kinds of apparent instructions.
讲得非常的清楚
And can be spoken very
可
clearly.
成佛
Can allow one to attain Buddhahood.
可以成佛，到了第8地差不多。
When you reach the 8th ground, it's about there. 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, Avalokitesvara
他是
Bodhisattva.
跳级的，他从
He jumped
跳到第8地，
from the 1st ground to the 8th ground.
观世音菩萨一下子就
1,000 eyes, 1,000 arms, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, due to the Mahakaruna Dharani, great compassion mantra,
他这里
jump from the 1st to the 8th ground, which is the highest level of
有解
Bodhisattvahood.
释在这里，意
5
义不详，
is
连
explained
作者
here.
都不知道等5是什么意思。
What is 5
若
of them?
依黑剑解释来看，依照这个密教的黑剑解释来看，是
According to the black
金刚
scroll,
木系的引文，
is to explain
黎明破
the
晓
preface of the Vajra screen Tantra.
是省略多句颂文。八地
So
者
at dawn, the
第三
attainment is definite.
以1日至9地之后，依三想加持之仪轨，1日至10地，正行之降持回边，1日至11地，最后不漏失，1日至12地，为第5日正觉。依此成佛故，于巨人年称名10地。他解释这个，你看啊，越解释
So that's the explanation. But the more it's explained, the worse, the more the worse it gets. It's impossible to understand. One day to reach which ground?
我
And
知道金刚木，
so Vajra screen Tantra. I
在
know
达兰萨拉
Vajra screen.
跟这个
When I
达
was
兰喇嘛
in
2个
Dharamsala,
人对话，
Dharamsala had the dialogue with Dalai Lama.
我跟他讲
I told him,
啊，我看到金刚光，先看到金刚光，
I first saw the Vajra
然后
light,
再看到
and
金
then
刚链，再看到
I saw the Vajra chain,
然后第三，
and
我再看
thirdly,
到金刚木。
I saw the Vajra screen.
他那个翻译那个人啊，他说
And
金
the
刚光，
interpreter
我们可以
at that time, we can understand about the Vajra
金
light,
刚链，他也知道。
and he also knew about the Vajra
至
chain.
于金刚木，
However,
不知道，
he did not know about the Vajra
他没办法
screen.
翻译给达赖喇嘛。
He could
他问
not
达赖喇嘛
translate
什么是
to
金刚
Dalai
木？
Lama.
这个卢
And
师
he
讲金刚木
asked the Dalai
我既然
Lama,
不知道
Grandmaster Lu was talking about the Vajra screen, and the translator did
这
not
样
know.
说我根本就不懂得什么叫金刚木，就是这里面写的
So it is what's written here, Vajrascreen Tantra. At dawn, the attainment is definite. You think it is a real dawn, the daybreak? No. But it's that you have seen the Vajrascreen. When you see the Vajrascreen, all the lights of the light drops become the Vajra chains, and the Vajra chains gather to become a screen, like a monitor, a screen. Then that's the Vajra screen. So I am using a modern term to describe the Vajra screen. It's like on our televisions, at the on-off, there's that dots on the monitor. Nothing. Just the gathering of dots of light, and then it becomes a screen. And nothing in it. So that's the explanation. At dawn, the attainment is definite. As long as you see the Vajrascreen, it's like you see the daybreak when the sun is about to rise. At that time, you see the screen of the heavens. That's the Vajra. That's the Vajra screen. You see the screen of the sky. So Dalai Lama was talking about Vajra screen. And I also said that I saw the Prajna light, Vajra chains, and Vajra screen. And then to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that took forms. If you have not reached that realm, talking about it sometimes can create a misperception or misunderstanding. Ami went for a repentance yesterday, and Father, I often look in the mirror and found myself that I'm the most beautiful woman on earth. And the Father told her, you have no sin, but you have a misunderstanding or misperception of yourself. Like Lamdre, it wrote that without a true guru, or if you have not reached that realm, you cannot explain it. So if you have not reached the realm, even if it's if you're told, you cannot understand, but if you reach the realm, then you can understand. A 10-year-old played the Tai Chuan properly, and I praise him. And the kid make the horse stance position and asked me to push him. And I was curious, so I pushed him, and he fell on his back. And his uncle came by and said that I was bullying the kid. So I had to pay $2,000. So it's not that you all these scams all over cannot. This is about heat. Under the sun, it's 42 degrees Celsius. An old man was hit by a car, but immediately he jumped back onto his feet and very reactive. So people on the street exclaim, "Oh, you have great body. You're very active." And he said, "You tried it. It's so hot. If I hadn't gotten up, I would have been cremated." That's how it will be tomorrow. If you try to lie on an asphalt road, on that heat, at noon, when the sun is shining, try to lay on the asphalt road, especially if you're naked. Xiaoming just got home, and his mom slapped him. "Why did you get into a fight at school?" And Xiaoming cried and said, "Impossible, I didn't even go to school today." And the mom slapped him again. And the teacher said that you skipped classes, and I didn't even believe. So the mom was smart. That's how she proved that he skipped classes. That's how it was with me too when I was little. Last night, I dreamt of my wife got angry and wanting to leave the house. And I will leave for 1 month and not coming back. And in the morning, my wife asked me, "Why did you laugh so hard in your dream last night?" And I said, "Oh, because I got a raise." So actually, when wives go back to her mother's house, the husbands are very happy. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.